Hey guys, it's Scott with scottieb Cards, and in this video, the top Series 2 checklist was released, and we're going to be looking at the best rookies to target in this product. This product is very interesting. I'm not going to say it's terrible, because I don't think it's terrible. It's not the right word for it. Very interesting is the right word. There are some very goods and some very bads that we're going to discuss. One of the first things is the rookie class is pretty weak, but I'm going to go over the top 10. I probably could cut this down to like the top 5 to 7 if I'm being fully transparent with you in regards to the traditional checklist, but we do have a rookie short print checklist that we'll go over as well. The rookie short prints are going to be held out of the actual top 10 list because they don't have parallels. They really aren't going to be as sought after as they used to be, like the Hyeseong Acuna, but I'm still going to talk about those players and rank them as well, but we'll look at the primary rookies first. So the way that we actually do this video, very first person you're going to see is Richard Fitts for the Boston Red Sox. We have 4 categories that help us rank these players. We have age, so he's 25 years old, so he gets 5 points. If he was 20, he would have gotten 10 points, and so forth. Prospect ranking, if you're a top 10 prospect, you get 10 points. If you're a top 20 prospect, you get 8 points. If you're not a top prospect, you get 0. Minor league stats, he has average minor league stats, so I gave him 5 points. Big league stats, slightly above average, so I gave him a 7. Just 1 through 10 on those two for the average score. So let's look at Richard Fitts really quick. Here he is. He pitches for the Red Sox. He's a starting pitcher. He has pitched 3 games this year so far for a 3.18 ERA with 2 losses. Can't really fault him that much. I know the Red Sox have been lethargic of late, but regardless, we can look at his stats and kind of get an idea of where he is. In the minors, he has a career 3.75 ERA. If we pay closer attention to his most recent year in 2024, he had a 4.17, which is why I gave him a 5. I mean, he is an average pitcher, I'd say, in the minor leagues for a major league type player. And if we actually go look at 2024, he pitched 4 games and pitched really well. In 2025, he pitched 3 games and has pitched really well for a total of 0.9 WAR for 7 starts. So not bad. At number 9, we have Nick Yorke. We have heard of Nick Yorke for a long time. If you're a Bowman guy, Nick Yorke was one of the guys you were chasing back in the day. He's actually 23 years old, not a prospect anymore. Minor league stats are slightly above average, but has not quite translated to the big league level. Here is Nick Yorke. Heading into 2022, he was a top 30, 40, and 50 prospect according to the various publications. If we go down to his minor league stats, he's a career 800 OPS guy, 799. Round up to 800 for him. 282 batting average with 53 home runs in 442 games. A lot of games for only 53 home runs. If we want to look at his last year, though, in 2024, he had a good 2024. 303 batting average with 834 OPS and 12 home runs in 124 games played. This year in the big leagues, however, if we look at his big league stats, he's not doing great, right? Negative 0.2 WAR, 84 OPS plus, so below league average. He has 2 home runs, 5 RBI. Not a lot of opportunities. He's only had 42 plate appearances, which is a challenge for all rookies, but still it has not translated quite yet. He's not getting regular playing time. At number 8 is Saggese. I had to look that name up. I'm glad I did, but it's Saggese. He's an interesting player. He's 23 years old, so he got 7 points, not a prospect that's been ranked this year, but he was a top prospect last year in pre-2024 heading to the season prospect rankings. If we scroll down and look at his minor league stats last year, he wasn't terrible. 253 average with 20 home runs and a 752 OPS, but not what you're really looking for, for a player of his caliber. He was 22 years old at AAA though, which is still really good, and he's been fine in AAA this year, pretty much in line with where he was. At the big league level, he has been worth 0.0 WAR so far at the 142 OPS plus, but his career big league stats are 2 home runs in 90 at-bats with a 267 batting average. So yes, he's been better this year, so that's why I did give him a 6, but it's a smaller sample size. At number 7 is Hyeseong Kim, not Hyeseong Kim, don't get confused there. He is the new speedster for the Dodgers. They signed him and put him in the minor leagues because they had a gluttony of talent. And Kim's awesome. Kim has been great so far in the big leagues. People knew he was a good base runner and knew he was a good defender, but he's been able to be a good hitter so far as well. So here's Kim, right now 0.7 WAR, a 202 OPS plus, very limited sample size of 31 at-bats. I think he's gotten on base 9 or 10 times in a row as of right now on Sunday. So overall, he's looked great at the big league level, but it is early. For his stats in the KBO, let's look at his last season. He was a 326 hitter with an 840 OPS with 11 home runs, 75 RBI in 127 games. For his entire career in the KBO, he is a 304 hitter with a 766 OPS. So more of like a singles guy, but regardless, he's going to be a collected player just because he is an international player, which is helpful for him playing with Shohei Ohtani. But overall, again, I gave him 9 points for his big league stats. That's probably pretty generous. He could be a little bit lower, but that is Kim at number 7. He is older at 26, which hurts his values. At number 6, we have Kevin Alcantara. He's not been good in the big league levels yet, but he is the first ranked prospect on our list. He's 21 years old. He is a top 70 prospect, and this is mid-season prospect rankings, or the most recent prospect rankings, not the preseason prospect rankings. If they were on the most recent one from Major League Baseball, I did that ranking, and I did not include the preseason prospect rankings. But his minor league stats, they're above average. Let's go look at them real quick. I wouldn't say way above average. I gave him a 6 with a 797 OPS, a 279 batting average, 51 home runs in 434 games. Very similar to Nick Yorke, honestly. But in 2024, he was fine, 278 average, 14 home runs in 111 games for 781 OPS. Not terrible. He does have a strikeout problem, but so do a lot of players. And if we go look at his big league stats so far, very small sample size, 10 at-bats. So he got a rookie card in Series 2 because he played 3 games in 2024. And so you might say it's not fair you gave him a 2. Maybe it's not fair, but he has not been good at the big league level. He came up and didn't make it up again. So for that reason, because of his performance, I gave him a 2. Probably could have given him a 4 if I was being more generous. At number 5, we have Kumar Rocker for the Texas Rangers. Talk about a guy who has not been great at the big league level so far. He has been worth negative .9 WAR in his 5 games started for an 8.10 ERA, 1 win, 3 losses, but he was a top prospect, top 20, 44, and 41 respective of these different publications. If you look at his minor league stats though and his college stats, they're better, right? 2.89 ERA in college, 2.78 ERA in the minors, but at the big league level, he has to kind of figure that out. This year he has an 8.10 ERA. A lot of his issues is he throws the ball hard, but it doesn't move very much. And so a lot of these hitters, if the ball doesn't move, have a lot of spin on their fastball. It's very hittable. So until you develop other pitches to kind of get off of the fastball, if that's what you're relying on, that can be an issue. But he hasn't looked great yet in the 20 innings pitched. Again, very small sample size, but he still deserves to be a top 5 player on this list to give you an idea of how this class is a little bit weaker for this rookie checklist. At number 4, we have Caden Dana for the Los Angeles Angels. I did not know much about him at all before doing this video. So a lot of pitchers, very heavy on pitchers, and a lot of the position players are older or not top prospects. But Caden Dana, if you look at him really quick, he's been worth 0.0 WAR so far this year, but he was a top prospect heading into this season, number 78 on 2 publications, and he's only 21 years old, so very young. Be very careful of pitchers for the Angels, just because, we see Griffin Canning struggled a lot with the Angels, then goes to the Mets, and now he's amazing. I'm always worried about their pitcher development. But either way, if you look at his minor league stats, 3.15 ERA for his minor league career. This last year, if we look at his Rocket City days, he had a 2.52 ERA, and then Salt Lake, which is pretty hitter-friendly ballpark. That's the Bees. I used to go to Bees games all the time. 4.09 ERA. But overall, he's a good pitcher. It's just, let's see how he can develop with the Angels, and he is young, which is a rare thing right now for a lot of the players on this checklist. Next up, we have at number 3, Luisangel Acuna. This is Ronald Acuna Jr.'s brother, if you did not know. He is a top 70 prospect, 23 years old. His minor league stats, I gave him a 6. They're slightly above average, and his big league stats, I gave him a 7. So let's go look at Luisangel Acuna. For his career, he's a 107 OPS plus guy. He actually has a bigger sample size that's a little bit more substantial than a lot of players on this list. He's had a 275 batting average for his career, 264 this year, which is respectable, above league average. I think league average is like 230 right now, which is insane. 0 home runs, not a lot of power, but he is very fast, which is not surprising compared to his brother. 10 stolen bases so far this year for an 85 OPS plus, but he is a plus defender, which is nice, and his bat has been okay, and his base running has been good as well. So that is Luisangel Acuna. Let's look at his minor league stats very quickly. So here he is down here. His minor league totals, 505 games played. He has a 280 batting average, of 752 OPS with 41 home runs. So that's Luisangel Acuna. Next up at number 2, we have Roki Sasaki. Roki Sasaki, man, people wanted Roki on their team, and now he's on the Dodgers. They all hated Roki because he just went and joined the super team, all these different things. He has not been that good this year. Unfortunately for Roki, it's been a tough start to the season, and now he's injured. But he's one of the few pitchers that I would consider is the key phrase here, looking at buying their cards, just because he is so young. But if you go look at Roki Sasaki real fast, number 1 prospect in Major League Baseball, 23 years old. His stats in Japanese baseball is insane. Look at his ERA as a 2.02 ERA, 524 strikeouts in not that many games overall, 69 games. That's pretty good. He's a pretty good ball player. It just hasn't translated yet. He has had issues with velocity, probably because he's been pitching a little bit injured, and that's a concern because he's young. He has not had Tommy John surgery yet. Maybe that's what's up next for him. I don't think his UCL is what was hurting him. I think it was shoulder impingement, if I'm not mistaken. A lot of shoulder injuries for the Dodgers so far this year, but Roki has a lot of potential. We'll see if that translates to big league level. One of the best rookies to target by far. At number 1 is Jackson Jobe, one of the top prospects in Major League Baseball. Jackson Jobe, he is the number 3, the number 5, number 4 prospect in Major League Baseball according to the different publications. He's very similar stats to Sasaki, if I'm being honest, but he's a 3-0 win record with a 4.32 ERA, but his WAR is 0 because he hasn't been great, but he has a whip, which is not great, of 1.47. You want to get that closer to 1.1 if you can. But either way, he's pitched really well in the minor leagues too, a 2.97 ERA for his career. If we look at last year in 2024, he was a 2.36 ERA guy. And if you look at 21 games and he had 96 strikeouts. So regardless, he's great. My friend Ty from Spitball and Cards, check out Spitball and Cards. If you don't know it already, it's a podcast I do with 4 other collectors. He loves Jackson Jobe. We'll see if it can translate. And the next players who are actually rookie short prints with no parallels, going to be Cam Smith, Matt Shaw, and Kristen Campbell. I'm not going to go too deep on each of their cards because they're also going to be in Topps Update, where I'll dive into their stats and everything more. We'll have more substantial sample sizes for their numbers by Update as well. But for Cam Smith, he was traded over in the deal for Kyle Tucker, and he's played great. 0.9 WAR overall, league average bat. He is a top prospect. He's looked good. 22 years old. A lot to like about Cam Smith. Matt Shaw, he's a top prospect as well. If we go look at his stats real quick, number 35, 19, and 26. It just hasn't translated quite at the big league level, and only 58 at bats, 55 OPS plus with 1 home run, hitting 172. And then lastly is Kristen Campbell, who's been a decent offensive player, but overall his WAR is slightly below average, just below league average on offensive metrics too. But 5 home runs, 233 batting average. There's a lot to like about Kristen Campbell. Very young. All these players are young. So check out for those players as short prints. These players do not have parallels. I also want to note, even though this checklist is pretty weak, you have Top Series 1. All the black parallels that were going to be in Series 1 that aren't in Series 1 are in Series 2. So James Wood and other top players will have their black parallels potentially in the hobby boxes in Series 2. There is hope of pulling a black parallel of a really big player, which is great, like a James Wood, if you want to look for that in hobby boxes. There's going to be a lot of value there. So Series 2, very interesting product. Let me know if you're going to open this product, what you think of this product, and I will see you in the next video.